It up. I love his confidence.
Bradley Pinion on the booted away, and we're off and running here in Glendale. Greg Dortch is going to play this a couple of yards deep from his own end zone, runs into his own man at around the 15, slips the initial tackle, gets out to the 20.
Do his thing. Can't wait to see if he does.
Murray begins from the gun, a little bit high with that pass. Will Hernandez was a question mark this week with a knee injury, but he is up. This is Connor.
His own Yamada.
On 3rd and 9, a little bit of a low snap. Murray, here they come giving chase. Murray buys some time. Flushed out of the pocket, throws in a Gillikin. As Atlanta forces the Cardinals into a 3-and-out to begin. Robinson, the Tucson native, a little bit of a trip at the 30.
Their losses.
They begin at the 38. This is Robinson. 2nd and 8. Heineke from the gun. Back to Robinson. 5 wide receivers. Heineke slinging it over the middle, and that one miscommunication between the two, and a 3-and-out.
It appears this is one right there.
See what Dortch has done as a punt returner this season. Punt here by Pinion is going to take the first appearance in 11 months. They went 3-and-out on their first drive. This time they begin inside their own 5-yard line. Murray throwing from his own end zone. That pass is caught.
Offense much different than he's used to playing under Kingsbury.
Handoff here to Connor. Connor
looks, but having Connor, having Murray certainly gives a jolt to the offense.
On 2nd and 9, Murray's pass trying to thread
in their first 2 drives for the Cardinals.
On 3rd and 9, Murray needing a play, completes.
Love this on the 30-yard line, but
boy, they're going to go for it. Pitch play, Connor, first down. It has to make the rookie feel a little bit better after that very rough outing last week in Cleveland. Murray feels some pressure, complete. As he protected the blind side of Murray's on that last play. Ingram stays on the field. Play action here for Murray. Throws across his body. Completes. McBride, the tight end.
You see him go up to the line of scrimmage, and he's waiting, and he knows that something isn't right.
His team and has lost 6 straight games. Here's Connor, little stutter step.
Finding the end zone.
They line him up. Split out here. Murray puts a man under it. That pass is caught. McBride. Bride could make a play by Murray.
Pass interference. Defense number 27.
But this catch as well. Ravens. That's got to look good after the delay of game penalty.
Fresh set of downs. Murray slings it across the field, and this pass is caught.
Drive for Jonathan Gannon.
So after they went 3-and-out in their first possession, Murray on this drive is 6 of.
Alert blitz from Jesse Bates.
Murray from the gun, fires far side, incomplete. On 2nd and 15. Murray feels the pocket start to collapse. We'll check the flag here. Murray so elusive.
They're going to get Froholt.
Offense, number 72.
Froholt here. They're going to run a game, and he tries, just as he tries to recover, he keeps.
Top of your picture, split out here. 2nd and 25. Murray trying to get some of it back. Batted in the air and incomplete. Tennessee. See what Murray has done so far. 3rd down and long. That pass. 51-yard attempt here from Prater. Get this offense on track. As Taylor Heineke makes his 2nd straight start. Play action, rolls out, throws, and completes. And then they face the Saints at home in Atlanta. They go to the ground game here. This is time.
Heineke came in, kind of settled some things down. They scored some points. But that is going to be a decision here at the bye.
So 2nd and 10. Heineke giving here to Court. Heineke quick release, batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 45.
Gardick is coming right up the middle, and that's the way it goes, Spiro.
A monstrous call. Fresh set of downs. Robinson on
supporting those guys.
Good to know that Gene and Arch are back on the same page. Robinson breaking free. Robinson inside the 25.
Because his speed and acceleration, he gets up on those safeties in a hurry.
Here's Algier giving Robinson a breather. Algier.
Because You want to see one-on-one matchups with number 7.
Here's Algier on a second and short. Handoff. Robinson for the rookie to run through. A run of 11, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Falcons down, but they're in business, looking for their first points on CBS. First and goal, Atlanta, as we begin the second quarter. Back to the ground game, the rookie.
Holding. Offense, number 85.
Topic this week in Atlanta.
Robinson. He's been the workhorse so far. Heineke feels the pocket start to collapse on second and goal. Pump fakes, tucks it away. Heineke takes a snapshot of the defense after his 11-yard run. Third down and goal. Fires end zone. It is caught. And he finds Scotty Miller, who had just 6 catches on the season entering this one today. His team now so far so good. Murray 6 of 12 really came together on that last drive. It completes over the middle. McBride breaking free. And Gertz going down, and McBride has had a couple of big weeks. You saw his numbers there a couple of weeks ago against Murray, working from the gun on 2nd and 10. Fires over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Brown. There's the flag.
Pass interference. Defense, number 34. The ball replaces the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
That's 1st and 10 as they work from the 34-yard line. Murray puts his back into it.
Maybe the challenges that they're going to have with this defensive front 4 or 5 running the football.
Ingram.
Explosive passing plays downfield.
Tony Jones lone setback here. Murray on 3rd and short. Going to take a shot to the end zone. Incomplete.
Matchup. And I mean, that is a high degree of difficulty catch. If he was.
Here's Prater, who hit from 51 earlier. 46-yard attempt here. And 1-point lead as we play early stages second quarter. Quick delivery. This is Patterson on 2nd and 8. Patterson lone setback. Here he is on the take.
Pass back. He's going to hand it off every time. But watch play action right here.
3rd and short. Patterson. On 1st down, they fake the pitch to Robinson. They go to Robinson through the air. The rookie in the open field. Boy, he can make you look silly. A matchup in the open field between those two. So we hit the 8-minute mark. Robinson slot to your right on 2nd and 7. Heineke delivers another strike.
Out at quarterback friendly.
Heineke has completed now his last 4. This is Algier. Heineke back under center on 2nd and 6. Algier. Terrific pursuit.
In the right, and I believe London is up here.
Heineke goes through his progressions. Wobbling pass, high and incomplete. It's awfully high.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Leading to points.
Man in motion is Patterson. Back to the ground game. Robinson in this first half with that clock stopped at 5:18.
Holding. Defense, number 98.
Hands on Dahlman, and he's trying to get him to not get up to the linebacker, and so that is it's like an all-out pressure from the Cardinals.
Heineke feels the pocket and all that heavy turnover issues by the second-year quarterback. And Heineke trying to build on his 1-point lead. Bobbles the snap, able to regather, and then Heineke again just throws it out of
This drive.
Here they come on 3rd and 10. Heineke's going to run for it. Heineke first down.
Legs to get positive yards.
1st and goal. Robinson cutting to the outside. The 16-yard run by Heineke to set up a 1st and goal. And then Robinson, the South Point Catholic product, bangs it in for the Falcons. By the NFL, just great to see the smiles on those faces. Nice job by the Cardinals. So this Arizona royalty, 2nd down and 4. Murray working from the gun, fires, completes. 1st down and more. This is more.
Point.
Certainly looking better than it did last week. Murray, 1st down, pass, perfect. It's Hollywood Brown in this first half. Should be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Pitch play here. Connor, open field. Connor trying to find the 2nd and 1 here. Short one as they work just inside the 20. Connor dragged down today. 3rd and 1. They try to pick up some tempo here. Murray under center. Connor, first down.
Even though he's been their best lineman at right guard, but they've played well.
Murray fires, completes. Back to the
But Atlanta, really, they haven't been able to get much pressure inside at all today against Murray.
Boy, Arizona. Murray protected, everyone covered. Murray running for it, slides. 14 seconds, Cardinals 3rd and 1 here. One timeout, Murray keeps it himself.
By Kyler Murray.
Well, that looked like the Kyler revolt. 24th rushing touchdown of his career. They go for 2 in the tie here. Murray buys himself some time, but his pass line. Looks like Heineke will just take a knee here, and that's going to take us into halftime here in Glendale. FC South. 2-point game, Atlanta in front. That's the end of our first half. Our halftime coverage next. Who was still dealing with the injury. So 2 old pals, former coaching colleagues at Tennessee.
Some explosion in their passing game. They're running the ball well, but they need those chunk plays in the air.
Heineke's
defenses, you can't have a penalty to extend this drive.
Heineke running for his life. Heineke tripped on the release, and Mukeji having a career season. Not bad for a former 6th round pick. Brad, opening minute of this 3rd quarter from Glendale. They begin at their own 24-yard line. Murray goes underneath. This is Rondale Moore.
On whether or not Kingsbury's offense was sustainable in the NFL, but I do think, Spiro, that
this is McBride.
In my opinion, it'll be fun to see how he takes to this offense.
Fresh set of downs. This is Connor. Connor slipping to 2nd and 3. Murray, quick delivery, completes over the middle. 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 45. Murray, another quick delivery. Back to the well.
Making the fast decision and making the right read.
Murray on 1st down, dancing around the pocket. Penalty flag thrown, could be potential secondary.
Holding. Offense, number 70.
That's a long time to hold that back. Look at how long Murray stays in the pocket. And then when Murray goes out, it's usually...
Johnson, the 6th overall pick in the draft. Offensive backfield.
It might be on Johnson
Offense,
again.
number 61.
This down in distance?
Probably not.
Murray trying to get some of it back, put some air under it, and it is incomplete.
Hurts because they had it. Just a mental sign to remember.
On 2nd and 30, fake handoff to Ingram. Kyler trying to buy himself some time, running for some daylight. Falcons giving chase. Murray slips away, and it's incomplete.
Something get behind you, so really credit to the Atlanta defense.
Kyler again feels the pocket start to collapse, goes underneath. This is Moore, who broke into the league with Atlanta back in 07. Puts his back into it, and the kick is good. Last week, his first start as a Falcon, his hometown team. And right now, trying to lead them back from a 1-point deficit. Pitch
far in this game, the Atlanta offense.
Can they get something downfield? They go back to the ground game here to
Holding. Offense, number 76.
on the map at a South Point Catholic. Heineke under heavy pressure, unable to escape.
To back up the Falcons.
One of a number of impressive rookies on this Cardinals team. This pass is caught. This is Pitts.
Second half, have to create more negative plays. And that was the good start for Arizona's defense.
Much better punt here for Pinion than the last one. This was fielded by Dortch. Franchise get it back on track. We're now leading the Falcons 15-14. Murray fakes the handoff, protected, slings it, it's intercepted! Picked off! Nate Landman has some blockers, and
he's right behind the center, and he has to slide, and then just at the last moment, he throws it behind, and just a huge interception.
First career pick for Landman as out.
He's done a really good job this season.
keep it on the ground. He stills. Third time in the red zone for Atlanta. They've scored a touchdown in their first 2 trips. 3rd and 6. Heineke needs a play here. Here they come. Heineke escapes, and then he's sacked.
Sent a hold on Atlanta.
Holding, offense, number 70. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
13 consecutive field goals to tie or take the lead in the second half of this season. That's
Have to take advantage of an offensive line that is really beat up right now.
James Conner, start to the season, trying to resuscitate their year. Murray on 2nd down, and they give chase.
Home for a negative play.
Ellis, one of their big offseason defensive upgrades in free agency. Big play. Run play here.
Really a nice play call to force the punt.
Gilligan to punt. Scotty Miller returning punts this week with the... Here's Taylor Heineke as they begin to the air. John,
I think I'm inspired right now.
please don't.
Thanks,
Second
Jen.
and 10. This is Algier taking...
Oh, JJ has a perm picture somewhere. I know that.
He absolutely never had a perm. Heineke under pressure. Heineke buried.
He finishes it. Spirit, both defenses came out to play here in the 3rd quarter.
So the 4 Atlanta possessions in this quarter. Punt, field goal, punt. Here's Dortch going to play it. Dortch, nifty return. Dortch still going. Dortch, breaking tackle. All the way down to the Atlanta 20.
Just an incredible effort. I thought George, he just got tattooed right there. But they don't wrap up, and then Dortch just making something happen, reverses field.
Ankle injury just as he was starting to crack the rotation in the wide receiving room. Here's Murray. Murray probes the defense on 2nd and 4. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Fires near side. It's caught. Wilson breaking free. And he's in. Touchdown. Firmed upstairs. Knee down.
That ball is just shy when the left knee makes contact with.
After review, the runner's down short of the line to gain.
Yeah. Clayton Tune, the rookie quarterback, has come in. Potential touch push here, but it looked like he bobbled the snap. Tune, there.
Offside. Defense on the nose tackle. That penalty declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
To the bye that Atlanta will have next week. That'll be a home game in Atlanta in week 12. Heineke, can he get this offense recalibrated? Goes to Algier through the air. Game. And the Arizona Cardinals are going to take a 5-point lead into the 4th. That's the end of the 3rd. 22-17. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 58. It's just a Younghoe Koo field goal, the only points that they've generated since halftime. Can Heineke get them back on track?
The ball down the field. Drake London has 1 target.
Fake pitch from Heineke. Boy, look deep for a moment. Here, that pass was Smith.
And Heineke, he sees Smith.
Catches 100 yards in that loss against the Vikings. 2nd and 10. Heineke looking protected this time. Tucks it away. Going to run for it.
Smith going to run the football here.
Ritter. Handoff Robinson. Robinson needing the
Believe that with your line and with Algier in the backfield, you've got to like your chances of picking this up. With him at quarterback, I believe you have to be aggressive in this part of the game.
Ritter faking the handoff, tucks it away.
Holding. Offense, number 81.
They're calling holding in this game.
3rd holding call against this Atlanta offense. So 1st and 20, Ritter, NFL season. And what a moment potentially for him here in week 10. Ritter slings one and completes. That's... This time Ritter from the gun turns, hands off to
back. Taking a deep breath would be good for him.
Cordero Patterson, low setback. They fake to him. Ritter puts a man under it.
Pitts and London both inside. Look for them to work down the middle, down the seam.
They keep it on the ground. Robinson breaking away. Like the player we saw the first month of the season where he stormed out of the gates. Here he is again.
Spot for touches in a game is right around 20 to 23 touches.
Ritter, quick release near side. That's
is the zone read and keeping it on the edge in short yardage.
On third down, Robinson looking for a seam. Ritter on another keeper. Was his knee down? Awfully close. See his feet get tangled up in his knee, almost like his knee banged into the leg of his offensive lineman, losing his balance. Second season, benched a couple of weeks ago, has taken the reins. And he is short. Wow. As they try to build on a 5-point lead. Kyler Murray's first game action since week 14 of last year. Look at Connor. Puts him in the spin cycle. Connor. You felt it coming.
I felt it coming.
They're the stars so far for those. Now for the rest of this game here in Glendale. Murray from the gun on 2nd and 9. All right, boy. Points not at a premium. A lot of fireworks out there. They continue to keep tabs on that game. Murray.
Perfect defense to get off the field.
Nate Landman, a guy that they signed to their practice squad last year. 1st and 10. As Desmond Ritter taking the controls of this Atlanta offense with now in that blue medical tent. Meantime, 2nd and 8 with Desmond Ritter under center. Play action here. Ritter hit on the throw. Fires down the middle.
But even if you want to hit like a deep out and work on these cornerbacks.
Ritter needs a play right here. Was it caught? Off a bobble, somehow maintains control and is able to squeeze it. They pick up 11.
Boy, did they need that in the worst way. What an effort by London.
Back to the ground game and back to Robinson.
He is a big target that you should be able to work one-on-one with these corners from Arizona.
Robinson a 4. Ritter faking the handoff. Fires near side, incomplete. And there is a flag. From this sellout crowd here in Glendale.
Defense, number 33. The ball we placed in the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
So close. Hamilton might have a point. Because, look, they have body contact.
Hart, just a tough call.
Warrant that call.
Turns out to be a 32-yard penalty. Fresh set of downs. This is
but a tough call.
On 2nd and 6. Handoff Algier. You have to think you're in 2-down territory at this point. Ritter fakes everyone out. Ritter, and he's in.
The second layer of support. Somebody has got to be able to account and see Ritter outside. It just becomes a foot race. But again, if you stay lead,
Ritter will line up from the gun. You see what they've done on 2-point attempts. Quick release, fires. It is caught, but London unable to punch it in.
Atlanta will blitz you, and you've got to have an answer.
Murray to the air, completes.
Really isn't a factor on this drive. Execution, a premium.
Handoff. This is Connor. Connor slipping a couple of tackles. Easy finish here in Glendale. Kyler Murray back in the lineup, slinging it here. Boy, dangerous looking play. Easy comeback win for Minnesota over these Falcons. How does this one end? 1 week later, Murray puts his back into it. Near side, and it's incomplete.
See Rondell Moore just going deep, and he has it. He has the win. When they bring this look, but I expect pressure.
Cardinals need a play right here from their franchise quarterback. Murray running for his life. Murray trying to buy some time. Murray gets a couple of blockers. Murray's going to run for it. He's got it. First down, Cardinals. A lot of seconds coming off the clock. They still have all 3 of their timeouts. Murray keeps. James Conner lines up at the top of your picture here with just under a minute left. Murray puts him there under it. Near side on the comebacker. McBride. And he's inside the 10. The presence of mind to come back. Concentration. Amazing play by McBride. That leg. He has made some huge plays down the stretch, but can he get them over the hump? This is Connor.
get outside the edge, big play. Unbelievable for Murray.
Murray, this is Connor, and again,
Seconds, call the timeout and let him kick the game winner.
From 50 plus, a chip shot to win it. Good snap, and the kick is good. And the Arizona Cardinals have won it here in Week 10. And Gannon, meantime, stoic in victory. As he jogs over to shake the hand of his good buddy, former colleague Arthur Smith. And the agony for the Falcons continues for another week. A third straight defeat for the Atlanta Falcons, a team that just a couple of weeks ago was atop the division